Good morning, everyone. I wanted to take this video today to share all of my cross-stitch projects I started in 2025. Now, I just recently discovered cross-stitch back in 2024. So I've only been stitching for about a year now, but I fell in love with the hobby. I love how relaxing it is. And I also love the community around it, seeing all of everyone else's projects. And so I thought I would share my own today. So the very first cross-stitch project I ever started was from this kit, and this comes pre-stamped, so the pattern is already on the fabric, and you basically just have to look up the symbol and fill it in. It's kind of like a paint by numbers, and that was my very first introduction to cross-stitching. Here is the project right here, and you can see I've got about a third of the way done on this project. And so I'm hoping this year I'll be able to get a little bit more progress. And this is what the back looks like. This project is stitched on an 11 count Aida cloth, and it's got about 30 colors the last time I checked. I guess I could just count them right here, 38 different colors. So yeah, that's the progress on my first cross stitch project. Now, the second cross stitch project I started was by Modern Folk Embroidery, and it's called No Time Like the Present. I'll see if I can put a picture right here. And this project I worked on a 14 count Aida cloth using two different colors, DMC 930, which is this nice slate blue color, and DMC 377, which is kind of like a terracotta reddish color. I started this project back in February of 2025. And I stitched on it every single day for a solid 5 months. So I actually did end up finishing it around mid-July of 2025. And I had the idea to turn this into an actual working cloth. So I ordered some parts online, and then I put it together, found a nice frame to put it in, found a nice blue matte background, and I thought it just came out beautifully. I'll see if I could put a video of the finished result here. Now, the third project I started in 2025 was also another Modern Folk embroidery pattern. This time it's the Fruits of Plenty. I was originally going to start this pattern first, but I was just drawn to No Time Like the Present even more. So that's the reason why I started this after I finished that one. And the color I'm using to stitch this with is a variegated DMC 121, I believe. Here's the progress here. I've just started on the right-hand corner so far, but I love how the thread just sort of blends into this really beautiful gradient. And the fabric I'm stitching this on is a 28 count linen, and I'm just stitching one strand over one. So the final product is going to be very small. I believe it's only going to be like 9.5 by 11 inches tall, but I think it'll turn out really well with the variegated color changing thread. The next project I started was around mid-June of 2025, and this was a kit by Mirka, and the pattern is called Paris Evening Deja Vu. And what I really like about this kit is that it comes with a QR code. Hold on, let me see if I can open it up here. Yeah. On the inside, it comes with this QR code you can scan and open up the pattern with their digital app, which I believe is called FlossTube. But I really like using that to keep track of my progress, especially when using so many colors. And this is where I'm currently at with this project. The fabric that comes in the kit is this 16 count, sort of a light blue Zweigart Aida. And I mainly just started off in the center, and I'm starting to work my way out here. The way I like to stitch is just, I choose one color and I try to stitch as much of it as possible. So I use up the entire length of the thread, and then I end it and I start off with another color. I believe that's called like extreme cross-country stitching. That's just how I like to stitch. I know I've seen others use like parking, where they work very methodically, like grid by grid, but I found that I don't enjoy switching out my needles that often. So cross-country for me it is. Oh, and before I forget, this is what the back is currently looking like, which I don't think is too messy, being how I just try to stitch one color as long as possible. And yeah. All right, my next project is going to be my main focus for this year, and it's Long Dogging Samplers Pandemic. I just love this pattern, all the details. I find it so beautiful. I'm stitching this one on a 36 count even weave with one color thread, DMC 3808. And I finished the top row already, and I'm working my way onto the 7th page right around here. But yeah, it's a huge project, the biggest one I've ever worked on. So I'm using one of these large scroll frames I got online. But yeah, I'm hoping this year I'll be able to stitch at least 1 page a month, and I have a little bit over 13 pages left. So at that rate, I might be able to finish this project in early 2027, which is my goal. And that's what the backs look like. I think it's very cool, especially in this dense section down here, where I was very regular with how I stitched it. So it's kind of like its own pattern. So after starting pandemic, I had a little bit of the fabric left over. So I started another pattern. This one I got off of Etsy. I forget who the designer is, but I remember the pattern was called Peacocks in the Garden. And I've just barely started the very top left corner right here. So yeah, I'm stitching this one on a 36 count linen, same as pandemic, but just one strand over one, half cross. So hopefully it'll go by a little bit quicker. I found this fabric was very difficult to grid up, so I've just put a dot at my 10 by 10 grids instead of drawing the whole line. And yeah, this is not one of my focus projects for this year, so I might put it away until 2027, but we'll see. And then the final project I started back in 2025 was this Dimensions Gold collection kit, Japanese Garden. I actually got this recently as a Christmas gift, and this is the progress I have so far. I started off in the center, and I'm slowly working my way out. Same like extreme cross-country stitching, because that's how I prefer to stitch. And yeah, those were the 6 projects I started back in 2025. I'm very happy with that finish, and I'm hoping I will get maybe a finish with pandemic this year, or at least early in 2027. Thanks for watching, and I'll keep you guys updated on all of my latest progress.